Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE Monday Night Raw episode 1376 live in person at the Rabobank Center in hell itself. Bakersfield, California. This is the last wrestling show on my trip, my week and a half early. It's a 9-day trip. That's almost a week and a half. That counts, I think. But, I had a lot of fun at this show. I was just there by myself. Didn't talk to the people on either side of me at all, because there's a lot of families at this show. Some shows, it's packed with, or at least it seems like it's packed with, like, hardcore wrestling fans that are getting all drunk and all that kind of thing. And then other times, which was like last night at Hell in a Cell, and then other times it seems like it's mostly families. You get like groups of 4 or 5, and more often than not, that used to be on SmackDown, because SmackDown would have the cheapest tickets, but I feel like SmackDown will have the more expensive tickets from now on. But even though it's less show, it's less show, and if they don't have 205 Live in there, then it's even less show than Raw. It's like almost half as much as you get at Raw, because you have main events and then 3 hours of stuff. Anyway. I really like this show, and I had a lot of fun. Just some quick notes. Crowd seemed really into it, as far as I could tell. There were a couple of times people in one specific section, and that's the section all of the drunk hardcore fans were in, it seemed like, trying to start some AEW chants, also some CM Punk chants, but they did not gain widespread traction. There was some booing during the recap of the Universal Championship match, and Seth Rollins did not appear in person, and I think that makes sense, because he was killed. He was coughing up blood. He should be in a hospital, or at least in bed, recovering from that. But anyway, some of my notes on main event, this week's episode of Main Event, we had 2 matches. The Revival versus Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. The Revival won that match, and it was pretty fun. It was a pretty fun match. Then we had Cedric Alexander versus Cesaro. Cedric won that match, or I think Cedric won that match. And then jumping forward, we also had Cesaro in the dark main event. So that's pretty cool. I have Cesaro bookend the show, but not completely bookend it, because there's a match before that on main event. But anyway, we open up the night with Randy Orton versus Rusev, which is interrupted by Bobby Lashley on the big video screen in Rusev's bedroom, and then in his bed, and then in Lana. Excuse me. That was probably super loud. I'm sorry about that. I just have the cough I still have gunk in my lungs, and the cough is lingering. But I'm on the downslope towards recovery. Upslope towards recovery. This person is driving right into chains. Oh, I guess that's allowed, because the chain was undone. It's the same chain in the previous episode that I had noticed a kid struggling with it, trying to go under it when it's a very low-hanging chain. Anyway, and then the rest of his family were clearly trying to step over it, and then he was lifting it up into their legs. Anyway, I did not go into that much detail about it, but those guys totally missed that the chain was down. I could get out of here. I can't, but there would be absolutely no cars if I finish this episode first, which I am going to do, because I'm only on the first segment. I regretted that. No, I'm proud. I like that joke. He was in his bedroom, in his bed, and yeah, I think it's a pretty good joke, or the worst joke. If it's either the best or the worst joke that's on this episode. We then had Natalya versus Lacey Evans in a last women's standing match, and I liked this match a lot. We got the utilization of the new set with that curved screen. I knew at some point we're going to get people thrown into it and then they will slide down the screen, and that happened twice, and I loved it both times. But Natalya pulled out the win after sending Lacey into off of the stage into a table and a bunch of stuff. So that was good for Natalya. She was getting really beat up. She was losing handily in the entire match. Like there were about 10 instances of 10 counts, near 10 counts. And but she was able to pull out just enough. I mean, that's all that matters. If you can pull out the win, that's all you have to do, right? Survive long enough to win. So maybe Lacey got just tired out from beating up Natalya so much. They went Aleister Black, an awesome promo backstage. It says, somebody come pick a fight with me. And then he comes back after the next match, says, I've seen how this plays out. I'm going to be waiting here for a while. I'm going to come out there and see who wants to pick a fight. But before that, we had Viking Raiders versus Dolph and Rude. Dolph and Ziggler. Dolph and Robert and Rude. Robert and Dolph and Dauber from Coach versus the Viking Raiders. A collision is about to happen, I think. People just going willy-nilly all over the place. Anyway, the Viking Raiders won that match, and so I have to assume, not having heard commentary, that puts them in contention for, because it was a non-title match, that they've got to be challenging for the titles soon. Next week? The week after that? The week after that? Soon, I assume. Soon, I assume. So Aleister comes out, or no, Aleister doesn't come out. He says he's going to come out, and then the Bollywood boys come out. The Singh brothers repackaged as their original Bollywood boys music. I don't know if it's the original music, but I was pretty excited for it. They are challenging Aleister Black, which is a foolish thing. I'm sure they thought, oh, there's two of us, we can take him down. Nope. Aleister accepts the challenge and murders the both of them and wins, of course. They both get hit by the Black Mass after a couple of other moves, and it's pretty great. Then we had Rey Mysterio backstage. There's probably some backstage segments that I skipped or I forgot to write stuff down. There are a few times throughout the show I was like, oh yeah, I didn't write down the last 5 things that happened, and then I maybe only wrote down the last 1 or 2 things. So I'm sure I missed something at some point. There were interviews with Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman at certain points throughout the show, building up to the main event segment. We'll get to that. But Rey Mysterio is talking about how he's in the hospital and that Dominic's godfather appeared, and his godfather is Cain Velasquez. So that's why he's involved. And there we go. Cain hype. That's all I wrote. Rey backstage, Cain hype. Then we had Lucha House Party versus the OC. There's one... the best moment of this match, I thought, was Lucha House Party doing a triple moonsault off of the same corner to the outside. That was super awesome. But I think the OC won that match. And then AJ Styles had them... Oh, yeah, he won it with the phenomenal forearm. And then they delivered a magic killer to one of the other guys. And then the third guy, AJ Styles... I forget who was who that they were delivering these moves to. But the third member, they all got a finisher from them. Gallows and Anderson lifted him up into AJ's grasp in the corner so he could deliver a super Styles clash. So yeah, that was a pretty fun thing, I think. Then we had Miz TV with Becky and Charlotte, the kind of the back and forth that you'd expect between them. Becky bragging and Charlotte also bragging, and them anti-bragging about each other. You know how it goes. I guess that would be insulting. That's anti-bragging, right? To another person? Bragging about another person? Or complimenting. That would be anti-compliment. I don't know. Anyway, this led to this interview was interrupted by Kabuki Warriors, who came out, said a bunch of stuff in Japanese, and I thought that was amazing. I don't know what they said. I don't understand Japanese. I wish I did, but I thought it was still awesome anyway. And Becky challenges, says, "All right, let's do this." And so they storm the ring, and then we cut to commercial because all the Miz TV stuff is still out there. So we come back, it's Miz TV stuff is taken away, regular ring time, and Becky and Charlotte face Kabuki Warriors, a tag team match. There's a champions showcase. It is not for the championships, any of the championships. Yeah, I really like this match. I don't remember specifics from it, other than Kairi is awesome evil. I really like her look, at least from what I could see from the distance I was. And I was hopeful, because when they first came out, they only played enough of the song that only Asuka's song played. But then when they won, skipping ahead, when they won, the cutting back and forth version of their music played. And then I was a little bit disappointed in that. But I was not disappointed in anything else, because Asuka used the green mist on Becky so they could get the win yet again. And then as they're celebrating their victory, Nikki Cross and Alexa come out and attack the Kabuki Warriors. So they are not taking that loss lightly. So I'm excited for that, to get see if they get a rematch. That'll be really fun. Then we had Ricochet versus Apollo Crews. Ricochet won that match. I forget how he won, but it was good. It was good. Lots of avoiding each other's flips and stuff, because they know each other really well. They're like talking about how they're like best friends and stuff. So yeah, that was a fun match. And then we had Tyson Fury come out to talk to Braun Strowman, and Tyson demanded an apology, and Braun was like, "I was just messing around, and then you looked like you want to fight, so I gave you a gift from Dolph Ziggler, blah, 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 get these hands." And then Tyson Fury says, "Well, you're going to get these hands." And that's not his voice at all. I'm just like, okay. I have a sore throat and a cough and stuffy sinuses. My Tyson Fury imitation has not been honed yet. I've only heard him speak for about 30 seconds total, and I don't remember it at all. And I don't remember the specific things he said. But anyway, the crowd was really into this. I was really into this. Security, well, they end up butting heads, not literally, by going nose to nose, not quite literally. And then so security storms in there, break them up, and all the pull apart stuff. They did kind of a lot. But then the lower tier superstars came out to hold them apart once all the security guards got those hands. And then after Braun Strowman leaves completely, which leads to Cesaro is just the only one left in the ring. I like that Braun came back out after he cut his interview backstage short to come back out. I thought that was great. But Cesaro is left there in the ring with Tyson, and he was kind of holding him back, calm down or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't tell exactly what he was saying. But Tyson knocks him down and gets the heck out of that sounds like he ran away. He stands tall as he exits the arena. And then Cesaro, having been knocked silly, challenges The Miz, because The Miz is dressed in his ring gear. And so we get The Miz versus Cesaro, which is a pretty fun couple of minutes match that was interrupted. Oh, and before the match, The Miz made fun of Cesaro's pants, his capri pants. And I really enjoyed that, because I've also been making fun of Cesaro's pants. But the match is interrupted by The Fiend, who murders Cesaro. So yeah, that was everything that happened at Raw. Nothing really notable about traveling here. Like I said, this morning I finished watching Hell in a Cell, the broadcast version with Ricky, and then we watched the Goldberg Chronicle. And the Goldberg I didn't talk anything about that because I had to get into the show, but the Goldberg Chronicle was pretty good. But like I briefly mentioned, it kind of cut short because there's only like a minute of more stuff after the actual match at SummerSlam happened, and then it was like, yeah, that was good, that was cool, and then the ends, copyright screen, that kind of thing. But it's worth checking out. I think it's only like 20 minutes or something like that. And there's a moment in there with Matt Riddle that's pretty funny, and I hope that something comes of that, because they put it in there. They didn't put very much interaction with him and other people. I mean, they did, but nothing like that. So yeah, check it out. It's pretty good. And yeah, driving here, it wasn't too bad. Traffic wasn't bad. There was a guy who kept like getting really close behind me on a 1 lane in each direction road. It was a 2-lane highway, and just 1 lane in each direction, and he was just right up on my butt. I'm like, dude, this isn't helping you at all. Like, even if you want to pass me when you can't accelerate when you're right behind me. If you want to pass somebody, like, give yourself some room so you can accelerate while you're still in your lane, and then pop out, go around, pop back in. There you go. Don't tailgate people. Like, it's not helping you, because there's a semi-truck in front of us. I can't go faster than that semi-truck. I'm not going to try to go faster than that semi-truck, because I will run into that semi-truck. And there's another car in between me and them. They're not trying to do that. So, like, just cool it. You got there at the same time that you would have if you just kept 20 feet away from me instead of 3 feet away from. It's so annoying. Don't do that. Don't get right up close to people on the highway especially when there's only 1 lane. No, just never do it. Just leave yourself a couple of car lengths when you're traveling above 30 miles per hour. Leave space between you and the car in front of you. That way, if something happens, you can brake. Use there's like a simple guide that you can follow. I don't know the specifics, but I feel like the only time where it's appropriate to be less than 10 feet from the person in front of you is when you have pulled up to a stop at a stoplight, or like traffic is at a standstill. Then yes, you're not moving. Close up that space. When you start moving in, let that space open up a little bit, gradually. Don't like wait until there are 2 cars ahead of you to start going, but you know what I mean. Anyway, be better drivers, everybody. So yeah, the drive out here wasn't that bad. I've got about a 2-hour drive to Barstow, where I'll be sleeping in a hotel, not just random, just somewhere on the street in Barstow, because it's halfway between Bakersfield, Bakerston, Baker Flip-Flop, Beaconsfield. Why did Becky say this is Beaconsfield? She's the only one that mentioned the town's name, and she didn't make it into her name, because I think people would have enjoyed that. Anyway, yeah, because I fly back out of Las Vegas tomorrow, so that's a good halfway point. So I don't have to drive either 4 hours tonight or 4 hours tomorrow. It's just 2 hours tonight, 2 hours tomorrow, and then go enjoy Las Vegas a little bit. So in the next episode, I will be talking about, most likely the next episode will be Survivor. But if you skip the Survivor episodes, that'll be my Survivor episode for last week. But if you skip those, I won't talk about the Las Vegas, like the ending of this trip, until the Wednesday episodes, this Wednesday's episodes, AEW and NXT. So stay tuned for all of those. Let me know what you thought about Monday Night Raw this week and all other weeks by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all of the infinite multiverses, and that includes driving like a non-idiot. And I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye!